All right, so good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be starting on Barbers, 102B.13, page 161, and Cosmos, you are 5.3, page 118. But before we go into that, Miss Janie was looking at, because last week, we had asked you to find out some crazy little facts about the inventors. And I know some of you came up with some good ones, but Miss Janie found out some other crazy things.
Oh God!
So does anyone want to share what they found before she does? I was reading them this morning while I was printing them off.
They're crazy.
But does anyone else want to share what they found?
I found an inventor, but it doesn't have to do nothing with electricity.
Yes, we have that.
No. I'm saying the one I found does have nothing to do with electricity, but the maker of Maybelline. He came about that by watching his sister put coal as an outline on her for her makeup, and that's how he came up with the product.
Oh my God!
Okay,
that's kind of weird, huh? Well, mine's even weirder than that. Okay.
She's giggling.
Okay, you already knew about the Edison electrocuted an elephant in the 1903 State Fair because he was trying to prove that AC current was dangerous because everybody was using DC at the time, right? So he electrocuted this elephant just to show them that it was dangerous, which is actually direct current is more dangerous than alternating current. Let me get to a couple of these. Oh, the inventor of Vaseline. This doesn't have electricity, but he would eat a spoonful of it every day because it helped his digestive system. Everything passed.
Ugh, that's gross.
Nikola Tesla once shook the poop out of the constipated Mark Twain as an experiment. I mean, you can't even
He did what?
He shook the shit like right out of it. Sorry for that. I didn't mean to. But his poop, he actually shook it out of him as an experiment.
So he was constipated.
The first mobile phone was found made in 1975 from a former Motorola employee. Okay. Let's see. Go through all the rest of these. Okay, Benjamin Franklin. Okay, he never patented any of his own inventions. He reasoned that we should be glad and have an opportunity to serve others by any invention, and so they should be able to do it and share it for free. Pretty much. Can't you tell me what he told me?
Which one?
About Ben Franklin and all the children that he had, illegitimate. Ben Franklin was actually one that he frequented the ladies' clothes all the time.
I'm trying to find where he found that at.
He had like, I don't know how many illegitimate children.
I think they said he had 118 or something like that.
Is that crazy?
Children. Yeah. Because he would have a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, he was a sex fiend.
And then I was reading another one that
his wife. I'm
sorry.
No, not from his wife. His wife and.
No, I'm saying his wife. He did have a lot of illegitimate children, but his wife, she actually kept one or claimed one as her own, the one that he had by their maid.
Yeah.
The one from the maid he kept?
Yeah, and I forgot what his name was, but yeah.
He also was the one that invented the bifocals because he was tired of putting on 2 pairs of glasses.
That makes sense.
He also invented the harmonica. Let's see. He also invented a pair of swimming fins that you put on your feet when you go swimming.
But he didn't know how to swim.
But yeah, he didn't know how to swim. There's some just crazy stuff in here.
So I think I did weird facts. That's what I was looking at when I found that other one about Tesla. So most of the power outages in the world are from squirrels.
Squirrels.
Squirrels are behind most power outages in the U.S.
That shouldn't be true now because that was when the cable.
50 so strange you won't believe they're true.
Tesla couldn't stand the sight of pearls, so he refused to speak to women that wear pearls around their neck.
Yeah, there's just some weird stuff out there about some things, right?
Well, you've ever tried to look up the laws that are in different countries, I mean, different states? Like, you really can't do a lot of things in the state because they never changed the law to say it's okay to do it.
So this has nothing to do with electricity, but it kind of maybe could do something with chemistry.
What's that?
A woman in Sweden lost her wedding ring while cooking Christmas dinner in 1995. She looked everywhere for it and even had her kitchen floor pulled up, hoping she could find it, but she wouldn't see it again until 2012.
Using the dream.
While gardening 16 years later, the woman found the ring around a carrot that was sprouting in the middle of it. The only explanation was the ring must have been lost in the vegetable peelings that were turned into compost. Clearly, composting is good for the environment.
Nikola Tesla was born around midnight during a fierce lightning storm. And by the end of his brilliant life, and tortured life, let's say, he was penniless and lived in a small New York City hotel room. But while he was seriously ill, the inventor suddenly had an insight which led him to the development of alternating electrical current. And he also swore to do toe exercises every night. He'd squish his toes 100 times each on each foot before he went to bed. Totally, there's some weird stuff out there.
Yeah, cotton candy was invented by a dentist. My facts have nothing to do with electricity, just weird stuff that I found online. So
yeah, it comes to be like
there's lots of weird stuff. So let's go ahead and get this.
Oh, wait a minute,
one more. Go ahead.
Okay, Thomas Edison was confined to a wheelchair. His good friend Henry Ford made 2 of them so that they could have wheelchair races. Kind of nice.
All right, so this is the part of chemistry that's you'll probably be like, oh yeah, okay, I get this part.
The fun part.
The fun part, yeah, the part you really need to understand the physical and chemical characteristics of cosmetics so that you can understand how to serve your client and what they're going to like better. So when you buy something, no matter what type of thing you buy in cosmetics now, there's these 6 classifications: solutions, suspensions, emulsions, ointments, and soaps. And once you learn the difference of them, you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is so true. Every single thing that I buy falls within these 6 categories. So now we're going to learn a little bit about them. Okay, so a solution. A solution is where you mix 2 or more kinds of molecules together and they do not separate. So what doesn't separate? 2 or more kinds of molecules.
Kool-Aid and water. Once you put it together, it can't separate.
It can't separate. Kool-Aid, right? So what are we using? Shampoos. Anything that you don't have to shake well.
Yeah.
Anything you don't have to shake, pretty much.
It already is, isn't it?
That's a liquid is going to be a solution. Okay, so in the solution you have 2 parts. You have a solute, which is the substance that dissolves into a liquid to form a solution, and you have a solvent. So the universal solvent is water. Water is pretty much the solvent that we use on everything to break it down. But the solute, it's not always a powder, is it?
No, it's
Some kind of a concentrated thing. So like our disinfectant solution, right?
Yeah.
We have our concentrated, the disinfectant solution in the gallon is the solute. We mix it with the solvent, which is water. We get our disinfectant solution. Ms. Janie said Kool-Aid and water. Nesquik and milk.
Yeah.
You know,
things,
those are all into solutions once they get mixed up. And if they do separate, you didn't mix them up good enough.
You have something else.
Right.
Okay.
So that's your solution. Okay, so we did say that water is the universal solvent because it is capable of dissolving more substances than any other solvent.
It's the first ingredient on every bottle.
Yeah.
Everything.
And I do believe that's a test question right there.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a test question right there. So there's that one for you. And then we have a suspension. These are things that separate.
Oil and vinegar.
These are things that say you have to shake well.
Oh, we have a styling product out there that you have to mix it, shake it, when you spray onto the hair.
Yeah, anything that says for you to shake. Some of the blow dry sprays are like that. Now, if you want to take a suspension and turn it into a solution, here's a science project to do at home with your kids, right? Get some water, put your water first, right? Because the water's not as heavy as the oil. So you get your water, you pour that in a cup first. And then you put oil, like vegetable oil, it says, because that's like the biggest, right? And it sits on top of the water. But if you want to see them mix together, squirt in some dish soap, the liquid dish soap.
It'll be an emulsion.
It dissolves it up and it mixes together really well. And that's because of the heavy end of the molecule and the lighter end of the molecule. There's a whole rationale about that. As a matter of fact, I can tell you what that is right now.
Oh, look at you, you're so smart.
Because I did it yesterday.
Just to see if it was going to work.
I did it yesterday just to see if it was going to work. Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to tell them nothing. I didn't do it myself.
Yeah. So the whole rationale is this: is a glass or bottle of water, vegetable oil or cooking lotion, dishwashing soap, liquid. What happened? Go, move. Okay. So you pour the water into a glass, pour the vegetable oil into a glass, and observe what happens. The vegetable oil
Sits on top.
and water separates into layers, right? Add dishwashing liquid and observe what happens. So oil and water are both made up of molecules that are strongly attached to each other. Water molecules have a positive charge on one end and a negative charge on the other. Remember, we learned about those positive and negative ions, right? So since opposite ends of the molecule have a different charge, it's called a polar molecule. The molecules in the oil are more evenly spaced out and therefore do not have the charges on the opposite ends. The water and oil are both made of molecules that are strongly attached to each other. Oh, yeah, okay, I already read that. Since the water and oil molecules are different types, they do not mix well. When the dishwashing liquid is added, it causes the bonds to break between the molecules to change and allow the liquids to mix.
How about that?
So there you go. So you take a suspension and you can turn it into a solution.
Solution or an emulsion?
Maybe it's an emulsion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is because it has a binder. Okay, well, never mind. So other things that we use that you have to shake up. Nail polish.
Yeah.
Nail polish.
Oil vinegar.
Oil
Even
vinegar.
that medicine, the pink medicine.
Blow
they
dry
give to the
spray,
kids.
amoxicillin.
Yeah. Mhm.
What else do we shake? We shake, it's just on the tip of my tongue. The blow dry sprays. Why do we shake milk? Why do people shake milk?
I don't know. I didn't know you were supposed to.
I always see people pick up those little cartons in the store and like little single serving size cartons, the
Why?
bottles, and they shake it.
I don't know why.
I don't know, but I always see it being shook. So I just thought maybe
I gotta
somebody
look it
could
up.
tell me that. Did you ever do that as a kid?
No.
Like, you know, when you're in the line at school and you picked
Yeah.
up your carton of milk?
I never did that.
I see people do it.
I'm like, okay.
Oh, foundation. Foundation will
foundation
separate
does
if it
that.
sits long enough. Sometimes maybe aftershave too. Could. Depends on what's in it. But it could if it was a moisturizing one. So think about these things that we have to shake. That's going to be a suspension.
Hey, Miss Connie, you shake the milk because it has the fats in it, so you have to break that up to mix well with the milk.
Okay. So you're mixing the fat in the milk.
The homogenized milk will only serve to aerate it. And in my opinion, that adds a sense of being creamier. The milk's creamier.
Makes the milk creamier. Okay.
Prevents
Because I've never seen
Yeah, I mean,
a label on milk that says shake well. You know, so just wondering.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Okay. So you're right, Miss Janie. My science experiment is an emulsion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So you take 2 or more immiscible, right? Because
Yeah, oil and
immiscible
vinegar can't be mixed.
means that you can't mix it. You take the IM off the front of it, and you just have that miscible. That means it can be mixed. Okay, so 2 or more immiscible substances united by a binder or a gum-like substance.
This soap that you got, the dish soap.
That would be the dish soap. right? So 2 examples of things that we use that are emulsions are perm solutions, which are oil and water and oil are cold cream. Like a cleansing cream. So, okay, so this part always was like, oil and water and oil, what is the difference? It's both oil and water.
We use mainly oil and water products.
But how much water and how much oil?
Yeah,
right?
good.
So whatever's first is what it has the most of. But when I first read that, I was like, it's the same thing. Why are they just reversing the words? It's not the same thing, but it's not the same thing. So those are some of the different emulsions that we use. Noxzema. I always think of Noxzema.
Yeah, I love the smell of that stuff. It's like clean. Kind of burns, though, but it's clean.
Super oily skin, you're using Noxzema.
Guess what? I have oily skin.
So an ointment.
Sounds like a medicine, doesn't it?
It is a medicine,
I know.
usually.
That's why I'm saying that, because it's got a medicinal agent, and what else is in that?
Some type of organic mixture. Think of things, there's no water in this one generally.
So it's all oil-based.
So think of things like Neosporin.
Vaseline,
yeah, things like that. Those are going to be ointment type. They're very thick. Sometimes chapstick or something like that could be considered an ointment too. Probably more like Carmex would be considered an ointment, just because it comes in the sticks or the tubes. Yeah, sometimes some really thick, like styling. What do I say, like wax?
or
a paste, or something like that.
Stuff that makes pomade.
Pomade, yeah, there you go. It could be type of an ointment too, but if it has the medicinal agent in it, it would be for like a dandruff.
Yeah,
dandruff or something
medicated,
like something medicated. Yeah. Okay. Heel cream. So now we have soaps. So fats and oils, yeah, converted, then heated and purified. So you used to have to do this over like a boiling cauldron, but now they make them for you if you ever want to make soap.
There's like 3 companies in the world that make the bulk part of soap. So every place from detergents to like hand washing soap or cleansers and shampoos, all that comes from one base of that soapy part. Okay, gets shipped to them, and then it goes to the chemist. The chemist puts all the other stuff in there, and that is how they make their product line, right? But there's 3 companies in the world that actually make the soap part. That's the bulk part of it.
Has anyone ever made soap? Like homemade soap? Chime in if you have.
My wife makes homemade soap for sale.
Oh, that's right. He did say that. I forgot about that. I made soap before. But I didn't go to all that extra work. I bought the
kit.
No, I didn't buy the kit.
You did the little experiment.
I did the experiment. Yeah, we added essential oils and we added coloring and we added all that stuff and we put them in a mold and we had fun with it. But it was pretty much just soap. We learned you don't put a lot of coloring in it because it stains your hands.
Remember, the things go, every little item that's inside of that ingredient label, okay, goes from the most at the beginning and then it gets further down. And like after the first 4 ingredients, which is your formula, then you have colorings, additives, preservatives, scents, all kinds of stuff that's pretty much you really don't need in there because they're allergic reactions to some people. So I should make a scrub or something today.
Oh, I love scrubs. I did a scrub yesterday.
I was going to say them, they can use like Epsom salt and
I deep conditioned my hair.
Oh,
and I exfoliated my face and my body. Yeah, because I spent the week at the lake. I needed it. All right, so powders, right? These are mixtures of organic or inorganic ingredients, depending on what you're using. They mix them up. I mean, we use powders all the time, right? Face powders and body powders and well, that's probably what I use all the time, face powder or body powder, but they come in different colors and different formulas. So
translucent, matte, there's all kinds of translucent in it.
Yeah, translucent matte. But I was just thinking about when you go to buy a powder, really check out the ingredients in there.
The talc,
yeah. I'm not a fan of talc. That's one ingredient that I won't use. But if you see like mica in there, that's just a mineral powder, so that's a
That's
good
a good
one.
thing for your skin.
Yeah, that one's okay. That one's not bad. Sometimes there's cornstarch too, which cornstarch is better than talc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
Use
talc.
it for shampoo, dry shampoos.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people out there that like talc though. I'm just not a fan.
It's too fragrancy.
It's too like
Chalky.
just makes your face. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. It feels kind of smooth. I'd rather go for cornstarch over talc any day.
Shampoos.
Okay, so those are the categories, right? We have solutions, suspensions, emulsions, ointments, soaps, and powders. What you need to know about the solution is that it comes with a solute and a solvent, which are either dilutes, also could be a term for it, concentrated or saturated. If it's saturated, you can't dissolve it anymore. You just have to use it like it is. If it's concentrated, of course, you dilute it. Okay. The suspension, what do you need to know about that? They separate, but they have to be shooken. An emulsion has to have a binder to form it together. An ointment's usually organic and it's real thick. Soap is fats and oils converted, and powders are mixtures of inorganic or inorganic substances. Okay, so not too much. But now we're going to go to shampoos. Most shampoos are solutions, right? Yeah, they could be emulsions too. I just think of those being solutions. I always get solutions and emulsions confused because you use them straight out of the bottle like
yeah, that's how the solutions are. You use them straight from the bottle. The emulsion, you can use them straight out of the bottle too, but you have to have a binder to keep it together. So it would be like when you make salad dressing, in order for that dressing to stay, you know, oil and vinegar stay mixed all the time, it has to have one ingredient in there to help it as the binder to keep it together.
Oh, I never stays mixed, you gotta shake it. You just gotta shake it.
On the other different kinds that they have.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So this is some of that's why it gets confusing to me. But remember, they're different. Okay.
I don't get food. I'm just always hungry.
Jamie compares everything to food. Okay. All right. So what do shampoos do? They clean the hair and scalp
without adversely affecting the hair, scalp and hair.
Affecting it. Yes. So let's talk about good shampoos for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone ever had a really good shampoo? Went somewhere and had someone shampoo your head and it was just like having like a good massage?
That's the first step to get your client to come back to you, is giving them a great shampoo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Shampoos are, I mean,
a tip, give them a good shampoo.
Using the right shampoo for your client, you know, for their type of hair and their needs, which you could probably get that during a consultation, you know, which one would be the best one. And then actually getting in there and making it feel good on their head. That's a big thing for them. So, I mean, sometimes you shampoo the hair first, that's a first impression, right? So we want to make a good first impression. It can be part of a service. It can be after the service to remove, you know, all the hair that's on there, but it should be a soothing and relaxing experience, not an experiment, an experience. The shampoo can set the climate for all the other services, right? So how often do you shampoo your hair?
As often as needed. Okay, I can't do the same thing you do because my hair would be too oily and yours would be too dry if you followed what I did, because I have oilier skin and hair.
Sometimes I shampoo my hair every 2 days, sometimes it's every 3 days, sometimes it's 4 days. It just depends on what I do and how my hair feels. So yeah, go with yourself. But what are you cleaning? I mean, do we get that dirty that we have to shampoo our hair so much, or are we just shampooing our scalp more?
More my scalp, but the scalp actually gets to the hair. You brush it, it goes straight to my hair. I'm washing it because my scalp is oily, and I'm like hot sweats at night, so I don't like to feel that.
Yeah, I don't think
I have very fine hair, so that makes a difference. I know that people that have thicker, coarser hair don't have to shampoo as much because, you know, they need their hair a little bit dirtier to make it work.
Right. So go by what you feel.
Yeah.
Yes. Because remember, if you do improper or irregular cleaning, it's like a breeding ground for bacteria and stuff like that. Plus, it kind of smells sometimes. So generally, right, oily hair needs to be shampooed more. Okay. So these strong alkaline shampoos are not recommended as they make the hair dry and brittle. And yeah, we don't want to do that. So how does shampoo work?
Well, the shampoo goes onto the hair you lather it up, it pulls the dirt from the hair, and then you rinse it off.
And then you rinse, lather, and repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
You rinse, lather, repeat. So there's these things that shampoo has, right? We have a surfactant. Okay, surfactant and sulfate are two things that get interchanged a lot. You need a surfactant. Okay, that's your cleaning agent, right? That's what's going to clean your hair. A sulfate, you don't really want so much because that's the stuff that strips out of your hair. But the shampoo itself has a lipophilic and a hydrophilic end to it. Okay, so the hydrophilic is hydro meaning water. So it's the water loving portion of the shampoo molecule. It's a head and a tail, right? So that is the water loving portion of it. And then you have your lipophilic part of your molecule, which loves oil. So what happens is they have like the push-pull effect, right? Oil and water don't mix. So what's happening is it's, causing it to roll up the oil, like ball it up so it rolls off your hair. And then the hydrophilic is help washing it away. So that's how the shampoo molecule works. Okay, so now when we talk about the surfactants, there's these 4 types, right? Anionics, catatonics, non-ionics. I can never say those right. I can't say it unless I say it like a robot, right? So this all has to go with that negative and positive and neutral, right? Cleanser. So, I mean, really, it's not going to say, oh, it has an amphophilic, Fairtrix, and lipophilic ion, catatonics. Yeah, you're not going to see that. But just know that, they're positive and negatively charged on our head and tail of our area there. And usually you will see sodium lauryl sulfate as one of the ingredients. Yeah. Sometimes you may even say quaternary ammonium in there, which would be your antibacterial. You might see the DEA or MEA, or the, how do you say that one? Cocamide, or the, I've never seen that one before. Amphoteric.
Yep, amphoteric.
But what these
That's what that is right there.
Yeah, the amphoterics. They will
detangle and they won't sting the eyes. But that's the one that actually dries out the, when you use the ones with the no more tears in there. So they're not really supposed to be used, like, don't try and use your baby shampoo because you don't have any shampoo because it will really dry the hair out because of that ingredient in it that's
baby shampoo is really dry. So that anionics and the non-ionics are mostly what you see in just all the shampoos out there, unless you're getting a no more tears or a dandruff shampoo. Those are the ones you're going to see. But are you really, do you know what that is? No, not really, right? So, but just know that that's what they're called that are in there. Then you can sound really smart. Okay, so water, big deal, right? It is a big deal. Hard water, soft water.
Try drinking it.
I don't want to drink the water that comes out of my sink. No way.
We have filters at the house.
I have filters in my house too. Best $200 I ever spent, actually $250, was buying one of those under the sink wall mounted water filters that have the 3 filters underneath it.
So you can have your water.
So I can have my water. So I can have my water. And then I go to Sonic and I buy their crushed ice by the bag. They sell their ice there, and I fill that up, and best money I ever spent. So hard water is going to give us those minerals like we talked about before, right? You can get a water softener that will soften that water, but the hard water is going to leave the spots. It's going to make your fixtures turn colors.
It's going to make your hair turn color sometimes.
It can make your hair turn color. If you have color treated hair and your water is extremely hard and you're using it a lot, it can actually make your hair. I actually have a client who lives in Waterford, and she gets highlights. And her highlights are always like this real, highlights are always like this real pretty blonde color when she leaves. When she comes back to get a touch up, they always have this like brassy orange color to them. And I'm like, what the heck do you do to your hair? Well, we came to this conclusion that, she has a well out there, and it's her water that is doing that to her hair. It's changing the color of it. So it can.
That red or purple coming out of it when I was doing a perm on somebody one day, and I freaked out. I thought, this lady's lying to me, she has color on her hair, but she didn't. It was actually just from the water that she was using at her home.
Minerals, yeah. I forgot what that is. I think that's iron. I know,
Yeah.
sometimes it looks like rust.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks purple. Sometimes it's green.
Oh, I haven't seen green yet.
Yeah, green. I see green around the faucets, not in the hair, but around
Okay.
the faucets and stuff. So it's just the minerals are in the water. But we got to think that water is the primary ingredient in just about everything that we use. So you have water purification, right? There's different ways to do it. You have sedimentation, where all that stuff you don't want sinks to the bottom. And then you have filtration, which can be done in several different ways. I mean, there's all kinds of filters out there, right? You've got that, what is it, osmosis and ultraviolet and boiling and, filters, and there's a whole bunch of them out there.
Chlorine.
And then chlorine, they do add chlorine. You ever smelt water that had chlorine in it?
Yeah, sometimes in Modesto they've had that. They put too much chlorine in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, water makes something up.
Miss Connie,
Yeah.
I was watching this TikTok and this guy said the reason why the swimming pool smells so strong of chlorine is because of the pee.
The pee?
Yeah, the pee and the chlorine mix and it causes the chemical reaction.
So you're saying kids, when you go to a pool and it smells real bad, the kids are peeing in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, nasty.
That's interesting. I just thought everybody put too much chlorine in it.
I remember when I was a kid, that was a long, long time ago, but we went to this house party for our friend, and I think it was like 10, but they had a punch that all of us drank, and so our urine came out color, so they could tell if somebody in the pool.
Oh my gosh.
So all of a sudden, it's all these different colors, and we were laughing. Like,
Kids.
why is that happening? You can get in a lot of trouble if you did that to some kid nowadays, okay?
Yeah. So 60% of our body is water, and it covers 75% of the Earth's surface.
Yeah.
How's that? Fun fact. Look at how comfy she looks. Pillows, blankies.
What is that? How can you even stay awake with all that pillow and stuff? I'd be asleep right now.
It makes my stomach comfortable.
Okay.
They're my pregnancy pillows. They're regular pillows, but I use them for my tummy.
Aw.
All right, so now we're gonna go into these different types of shampoos, and there's a lot, right? How do you know what kind of shampoo to pick? I mean, they're everywhere, right? Every time you go to buy shampoo, they're
In the
there.
grocery store, they're in the salons, they're in everywhere. They even have them in like Kohl's now and
Okay,
Ross
so-
and stuff like that.
Get
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, so here.
We don't, but
We're licensed, and you're going to be licensed.
So you're gonna be getting
we
professional products.
need to start learning how to get professional products. Yeah, I would have a real problem if I went to go get my hair done and I walked in and they had like
Swab
some
on there.
swab or Tresemme or something that they were going to use on me. I would much rather have a professional product.
They
Yeah,
like the smell. They like everything about the shampoo that we use. They really do.
and sometimes too by buying professional products. I mean, I get a gallon of shampoo that the liter retails for $25 or $26. And when they're on sale, I buy them by the gallon. You know how long a gallon of shampoo and conditioner lasts me? And it's $16 for the gallon. So a lot of times I hear, oh, they cost more. They don't, because I can use that whole gallon for a year. And that's using it with me at home and at the shop. So a lot of times they're more concentrated when you purchase
Yeah, so you
them
don't
in the
use as
gallons.
much.
They're not nearly as much water. You buy the retail sizes and there's more water in them. So you just use, I do one pump of shampoo, about 1.5 pumps of conditioner, because I always use more conditioner. But they last you a little bit longer. So now that I do my little soapbox, I have this real problem claiming to be professional and using non-professional products.
What are you using this non-professional?
What am I using this unprofessional? What am I using?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Deodorant, probably. I don't
Okay,
know.
I know
Do
they
they
sell
make
deodorant.
professional deodorant? I don't know. But lotion, everything that I buy professional products. Yeah, I do.
I'm itching again. I need to go spray.
So, there's these different types of shampoos, and you will find any shampoo that you buy is going to be under one of these classifications. Even though there may not be within these classifications of shampoo, you will find that they do fall under this. They just may call it something else. Because like right here, the first one is an all-purpose shampoo
They usually low out.
or a pH balance shampoo.
I don't know that
Balance, because you can't say that it says pH balance to hair. It has to say acid balance to be.
But I've never went to go buy some shampoo and just have it be like,
Oh, low.
this is a plain shampoo.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've never seen that.
Swab has plain shampoos. I've seen that. That's the only time
It
I've
said
ever.
plain?
Yeah.
Honestly, because I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen the pH balance, and I've seen, I don't know if I've seen all purpose.
Dandruff. I don't think I've seen all purpose either. But
Have any of you- have you read that?
On the back of it.
Like when you go to buy shampoo, you know, the label's on the front of it, right? Do you ever see when this is like all purpose? Or does it say for like maybe all types of hair, you know, or maybe for oily hair or dry hair or something like that? I don't think I've seen them, but they do fall under these categories. So like an all-purpose shampoo, low alkaline, low surface agents, does not strip color, can be antifungal or anti-dandruff.
It's a mild shampoo with a little bit of antibacterial in it.
All that right there falls under, like, it could be under, I mean, does not strip color, so it could be for color treated, could be dandruff,
Yeah.
could be mild. I've seen mild shampoos, you know, but I don't see shampoos that say, oh, this pH is low alkaline. Like, I don't see that. So you got to learn how to kind of like read the labels
Even
too.
between the lines.
Yeah, and then look at the ingredients, because some of that stuff, if you really want to freak out, read the ingredient label in your toothpaste and look up what it
Oh
is.
God, that's nasty. The first time
I did that, I was like,
things.
oh my gosh, no wonder they tell you not to swallow it, you know? Ugh.
Got
Toothpaste.
poison in it.
Right. So we've got a pH balanced shampoo, right? It's supposed to be the same pH as your hair and skin. Again, that can be used on just about all hair. It's not going to strip it. It's safe for chemically treated hair. I mean, you could have, it could say moisturizing on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it could say hydrating because it's supposed to be the same, right? So read those labels. And then the plain shampoo. This is a high in alkaline.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it's going to strip your color.
Yep.
So it's not for chemically
High
treated
alkaline.
hair. They're going to want you to have a
Acid
conditioning
rinse. Again. Yeah.
Yeah.
To bring that pH back down.
That could be something like one of those, like a clarifying shampoo, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, something a little bit stronger in there. Okay. Soapless shampoos, lather without
Alkaline
alkaline
ingredients.
ingredients, and works both hard, soft water. I always think of like that, when.
Yeah, I was doing too,
That
but
one
that's when I've
shampoo.
heard there's a lawsuit against them because
Well, there's
hair
all
was going to
kinds.
fall out.
Yeah, and then it's back on the market the next day. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I believe about that stuff. So that one works with all
What did you
different
say this
types.
one? You said clarifying.
And then there's your medicated shampoos.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can buy them from the beauty supply, but most of the time, this type of stuff is prescribed by a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like medicine. This is medicated. They will contain ingredients that are going to be for prescription. Yeah, it's going to be prescription. So, you know, that's going to be up to the doctor, whatever they do for you. Clarifying shampoos have a very high alkaline to help remove residue, since it's chlorine, product buildup, things like that. These are what we use before chemical service. And sometimes a plain shampoo can do that.
Yep.
Depending on how plain it
How
is.
clarifying it is. Because
Yeah.
basically it's stripping everything out of the hair.
The anti-dandruff shampoos, I mean, they have them for lots of different types of hair
I think
also.
it's different types of dandruff that they should put in there because there's so many different types that it's not going to work on. And
Most of the time, dandruff is a fungus, so it could contain some type of an antifungal, just like, you know, maybe athlete's foot, you know, would have something in there for that because it is antifungal. So when you're doing anti-dandruff shampoos, always make sure that you read your label and you're real clear on what it's for. And a lot of times people that have dry scalp, they think they have dandruff. So they're using an anti-dandruff shampoo, which is a little bit too strong for their dry scalp. So they may need a moisturizing shampoo instead of a dandruff shampoo to help remove that. Okay. So always follow the manufacturer's directions on that. Well, follow the manufacturer's directions on all of it, but you know, make sure that you're following them more if you're using something like anti-dandruff, but follow them all the time anyway. Strengthening protein additive. These are going to be a surfactant and a conditioner. So they don't only cleanse the hair, but they condition at the same time. So like those 2-in-1s, you know, they're going to cleanse and condition at the same time, but they're supposed to strengthen hair. Then they have dry shampoos. Dry shampoos, non-aerosol or aerosol dry shampoos, right? This is for someone who, say, can't shampoo their hair the next day. It's like it gives you another day out of your style before you have to shampoo it. Just be careful with those because they usually contain some type of like an orris root or some type of a powder. So it works by absorbing the oil at the roots. And if you spray it too close to the root, sometimes you get like a white powdery look on the hair. So you want to hold those back about a foot and make sure that you just spray it on the scalp itself. Okay, with the aerosol underneath it, it has that like spray out, so it dispenses really nice. So you can get a lot of area at one time. But these things are really, I'm sorry, really like explosive. So be careful around, you know, heat and flame and where you're spraying them and stuff like that, because they're a little bit more than regular cans. That's what the book says. Okay, so they are an environmental nuisance to discard. Okay. Then you have your non-aerosol powder dry shampoos. Again, it works the same way, but after you spray it on, you brush it through the scalp, or brush it through the hair, I mean, and then it removes the extra powder that it might have on there. And if you're doing a dry shampoo, or don't do a dry shampoo before a chemical service, always make sure you use water for that, because we always want to make sure that we are shampooing correctly. Then we have liquid dry shampoos. Liquid dry shampoos are used when the person can't receive a shampoo. I've actually used one of these one time when I had a client that was in the hospital and she wanted to get her hair done and she'd been in there for a while. So I went to the hospital and she needed to get her hair dry or her hair shampooed. She'd been, you know, laying in the hospital for a while. So they brought this cap out. It was like a cap that fit on her head. It was like bubble wrap. And inside the bubble wrap was like this little liquid. It was actually kind of fun because you put it on, you went around and you were popping all the bubbles. They popped easily though, so it wasn't like I was banging her on the head or anything. But the bubbles popped and, you know, it went into her hair. And then when you pulled the cap off, her hair was dry, but it was really dry. I couldn't curl it or anything. It really felt like it probably should have been, you know, actually really shampooed, but it did dry up the oil. So that was kind of interesting. A lot of times too, the liquid dry shampoos would be used on like a wig. People will use those also for wigs too. And then there's the conditioning shampoos, which could be a moisturizing shampoo also. They help improve strength and porosity. They also could be having additives to them, like, you know, a protein shampoo or a biotin shampoo, or help improve elasticity or porosity, you know, things like that in your conditioning shampoos. They'll help with some of those extra things that we need help with sometimes. And we have neutralizing shampoos. These are usually done after relaxers, just to help
close the cuticle,
remove the product, you know, stop the action of it, all that good stuff. Okay, so color shampoos, and this is where I find sometimes that there's confusion. Color shampoos have a little bit of color in them, okay, just to help maintain. So say your hair is red, it starts to fade out. You want to make sure that it's going to stay vibrant. So that's what that type of color shampoo is for. They actually have color in it. Or sometimes people say, oh, I'm using a color shampoo. And what they mean is it's a shampoo for color treated hair. So make sure that you guys are, it's two different things. So make sure that you're aware of, you know, what the client's telling you. And then there's shampoos for thinning hair. You know, they're usually
thicker. You actually use a can, but
I don't like
a
those volume.
consistency of it.
Yeah, I don't like those volume building shampoos. I think they feel like there's a coating on the
Yeah,
head when you're
and that's
done
what it's
using
supposed
them,
to do to make it
thicker.
thicker, yeah.
Yeah. And with those volume building shampoos, it's funny because people, you know, you can see their scalp, and after you shampoo their hair, they're like, well, I can still see it. Well,
It's
yeah,
not putting hair there.
it's not going to change it. It's just going to make it a little bit thicker at the diameter of the strand that you have left.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes for the thinning ones too, they can have kind of like that mintiness to it to kind of stimulate your scalp, maybe help improve
Or circulation to it.
somewhere around there. And then there's all kinds of specialty shampoos out there. There's shampoos for everything that you could possibly think of. Yeah, they have shampoos out there for everything. So sometimes too, if you have a scalp problem, I know like the tar shampoos and things like that, a lot of times you have to ask for them in the pharmacy behind the counter. Even though they are over-the-counter products, there's a little bit too much of an active ingredient for it, and if it's just out there on the shelf, somebody may be using it and not knowing like what they're using it for, and cause a problem. So, you know, if you are looking for some type of a specialty shampoo for a scalp disorder or irritation or something like that, and you can't find it on the shelf, you may have to ask the pharmacist. They have a lot of behind the counter things out there that they just don't put out.
Because we're just a dangerous type of people. We'll try anything once.
Definitely. Okay, so I guess we're done for today. That's it for us. Is there any questions? No? Oh, her mask is cute. Okay, so